Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Football United TV. I'm your host, Matt, and I'm here with two special guests from last show, from talking about our quarterfinals. We got Louise and Stu. How you doing?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine too. And well, what a final we got.
I know, that's right. That's what we're going to be talking about the whole stream. Copa America Final, Brazil versus Argentina. Some would say like the what would you call it? It's the South American derby, isn't it? You know, it's a classic.
Well, I'd call it the biggest derby in national football in the world.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we all probably thought them two were going to make it to the finals. Do you think it's set up like that as well? The fact that they don't play each other in the same group, or does that happen?
Well, no, they didn't play each other. They were in different groups. So
No, but I mean, have they ever like?
No, I mean, I'm not sure. The Copa Americas I watched, they were on separate groups.
Yeah,
right.
I think for the quarterfinals and semi-finals, it's because they both won the groups is why they couldn't play each other. So that if I think in the past where they've played each other in earlier rounds is because one of them might not have won the group or might come second or third in the group and still qualified, but kind of ended up on the same half of the draw. But yeah, I think we said last week we couldn't see anybody beating them, but I think both Brazil's quarterfinal and semi-final were closer than expected, quite nervy games. Argentina, Colombia, obviously penalties. So yeah, it wasn't the easiest path to the final. It wasn't the easiest. I don't think either team's had it easy. I think the best game in the last weeks was the Paraguay-Peru game, which none of us expected.
Yeah, what a game!
We're lucky we get a goal in that game. So
that's 7-6.
Where all these goals come from?
It was 7-6, wasn't it?
What was it on penalties? I think 3
yeah, on penalties was 3-3, and then on penalties
7-6. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy game. Great to watch, but crazy game.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's nice to see, isn't it? I heard a lot of people talking about Copa America as well recently because it gets to them stages, you know, the quarterfinals and the semis, and people from around the world really do get interested because they kind of know who is sort of going to go through and who isn't going to go through because there's only one team from each group that goes out. So
yeah.
What did you make though, guys, of the semi-finals? Brazil winning 1-0 against Peru. Like, did you watch the game? I watched the highlights.
I watched, and I mean, it was a bit boring because Brazil started attacking well, and of course we have good quality on the pitch, and we would score eventually. And Peru's goalkeeper saved 2 shots like in a row. He saved, and then I don't remember who shot again, and then he saved again, and I mean, whoa, what's happening? And we scored after Neymar found some space, dribbled some, I think 2 or 3 defenders, and passed the ball to Lucas Paquetá, and he was the one who scored against Chile too. So I'd never expect him to decide so many games, but yeah, he's doing nice. But the problem is that Brazil just sit back on the fence after scoring, and then it became a boring game because Brazil tried to just counterattack. And I told my friends that Peru can't attack; they're not good enough. So how do you counterattack if your opponent doesn't attack? I mean, the game became so boring, and I don't think that's enough. I mean, Brazil has a lot of quality. It's nice to see how they defend well, how they can stop the opponent from attacking. But I mean, we have Neymar, we have Richarlison, so we should attack more. We shouldn't be satisfied with just 1-0 against Peru. I understand that the game against Chile, we got 1 player less because Gabriel Jesus got a red card. But against Peru, we could do much more.
Yeah, well,
what about that red card, by the way?
Yeah.
Jesus, that kick to the head.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, No, you didn't saw probably, but he got I think 2 games that he can play. So the
Yeah,
semifinal and
two
the
games.
final
Yeah,
he's
two
out.
games suspension. I've
And he
seen.
complained about that, like he said, no, it's not fair, man. And I mean, you kick the other guy in the face. How is not fair?
You should
I
be
mean,
arrested. You should be arrested, let alone like getting bans from matches.
Yeah,
that was
I
assault.
mean, he's not a violent guy. I think he just was out of his mind and he didn't saw the other guy coming, so he thought it would be okay to try to hit the ball. I think it was really an accident, but I mean, he should be arrested even so.
It's a crazy, and Gabriel Jesus, he does have history. He got sent off in the final against Peru last time, didn't
Yeah, he got
he?
to.
He has got a bit. He does let himself down sometimes. Where he's a great player. He does so many good things, but he does have that moment of madness in his game. And it has been. It seems more so when he plays for the national team than when he plays for Manchester City.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's that passion that spills over from playing for the country that the South Americans have. But it was crazy. I mean, it's the worst I've seen since there was that one Nigel de Jong in the World Cup final against Syria.
That was really.
It reminded me of that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember. I mean, you probably won't remember watching it because I don't either. I wasn't around, but I remember seeing German goalkeeper Kung Fu Kip, French player. It was striker running in, and you should watch the highlights on YouTube. He nearly takes his head off with a flying Kung Fu kick. He doesn't even get a yellow card or anything, and he's sort of like going, hurry up, get off. And the guy like broke his jaw and he busted his ribs. Like the guy was out for like a year or two. And I remember actually Leonardo did it in '94, didn't he? A reckless challenge at the World Cup '94, where he broke that guy's jaw.
Oh yeah, I know that story. I know.
Hey, it happens, you know. You got to be dirty sometimes in football, but sometimes it just probably goes a bit too far. And I think that Jesus incident was very reckless and doesn't help his chances at getting into the Man City team, really, does it? Playing recklessly like that. What did you make of? I mean, there was a player that I can't remember his name for Peru, and he was wearing the mask. He seemed.
Oh man, I'm not sure about his name, but yeah, I mean, everyone here at home looking at him and say, "Wait, why he's using that strange mask? What's happening?"
I think obviously his nose damage, isn't it, or whatever. But he looked pretty good, actually, to be fair, because I didn't know anyone playing for Peru, and he sort of stood out for me. I can't remember his name. I wish I bloody knew. But if you did watch the game and you are watching now, let us know if you know who that player is that was wearing the mask for Peru versus Brazil. Anything else to say about that Brazil-Peru game, guys, before we go on to the Argentina one?
I think what Luis said about how Brazil are sitting in on the lead, it's interesting to see because Brazil, historically, you think about the attacking play, the flair, the play, and that's all you associate with Brazil every time you think. And whenever someone plays well, even still now, like even if you watch your kids' team, they'll say, "Oh, I'm playing like Brazil," when like they're passing the ball or attacking, and when people bring the skills out, Brazil's always a team that you think of, and you have players like Neymar who can bring that. I think what they are doing now, and I think it would work well for them at the World Cup if they can get a better balance, because you need to have that defensive side to your game. You need to, winning a quarterfinal and a semi-final 1-0, it's not the most exciting to watch, but it's effective. So what they need to do now is, because when games are 1-0 and you're not killing them off, and you're inviting that equaliser to come at any time, and especially in the Copa America format when it does go straight to penalties, is if you're conceding equalisers, like obviously Argentina conceded the equaliser, managed to win on penalties, but you haven't got that extra half hour for the quality to show through in extra time. It is a lottery. So I think for the World Cup in Qatar, especially next year, Brazil needs to bring back more of the attacking play because they have the players to do that, whilst continuing to be able to shore up games at the same time. So at the minute they've gone too far one way from too far the other way. So to try and be world champions again, I think they really need to find somewhere in the middle against the better teams from Europe as well.
Yeah, I
Well,
agree.
what I see about Brazil is that they don't seem to have a clear attacking strategy. I mean, it seems that our manager relies too much on individual quality. And okay, against Peru, it will probably be enough. But if you face like Italy, England, they're having good defenses. So just relying on their individual quality maybe won't pay off. And also, it's nice to see that we can defend very well, but imagine a stronger team that can attack with more quality. I mean, it's not very safe to stay back like the whole second half of the game.
Yeah.
And
No.
we'll see how I guess how the defense copes with Argentina, because that's a completely different prospect.
Yeah. Anthony actually, big up Anthony. Lapadula is his name. All right. Okay.
Yeah, Gianluca Lapadula. I think his father is Italian and his mother is Peruvian, so he plays for Peru. And I didn't know that he played for Peru. I mean, I saw him on the other game in the quarterfinals, and I say, "Wait, Lapadula is Italian. What he's doing here?"
Yeah,
And so the commentator said that.
Benevento, doesn't he?
Who's he play for?
Benevento in Serie B.
Okay. All right. Okay. So kind of unknown then. Like in Europe, and do you know what I mean? Like for people watching here, they wouldn't quite know.
I think he played for Milan. He played for Milan some years ago. Yes.
Yeah, that's, you know what? It does ring a bell, that name. Do you know what I mean? It did ring a bell.
Yeah. I'm surely saw him on FIFA sometimes.
Yeah, he did. He signed for Milan in 2016. Signed for Milan in 2016, and then moved to Genoa a year later. So he had a year at Milan. So yeah. But I think that's what I think like the quality shows in when you look across the tournament in general. And I think mentioned it last week, but if you look at Brazil and Argentina and the leagues that their players play in, it's one of the best leagues around the world, like the top leagues in Europe. And you've got very few players in the Brazilian league in the Brazilian squad who actually play in South America, or you've got mainly European base. Whereas when you look at Peru, Paraguay, Ecuador, etc., you've got the majority still playing in South America. They've got quite a lot that play in the Mexican league, and there's some that play in the States. And the difference shows, the difference in quality does show. And the teams are always going to be competitive. Like the South American national side is always going to be competitive in terms of what they put into the game. They'll scrap, they'll battle, they'll go through, but in those moments, like where you are seeing these 1-0 to Brazil, they just have that bit of quality that the other teams don't have at this moment in time.
Yeah.
When you look at when other teams have done well historically, so when Chile won it was when Alexis Sanchez was probably closer to his best, and they had that star player that could see them through. So they still had the qualities that they had this tournament in terms of being hard to play against, hard to beat, physical battle for everything. But then if you add that star player and you add that quality that can decide a game, then that's what makes a difference.
Yeah, and it's
not doing quarter-final, semi-final to actually maybe going on and winning it. Yeah,
they could. That's what we were saying last week, wasn't it? About knockout football, that anyone can win, and that's the whole point in loving the game. I mean, it'd be very, very rare. I mean, look at what's happening with England. Like, I've never seen England reach a final.
No.
So it's, you never know. And we are one of these countries anyway, England, that doesn't do very well, to be fair, like as a national team, not compared to like Brazil, Argentina, Germany, Italy, Spain. But I
think that's why, like Luis said it when Luis said earlier about Brazil, Argentina probably being the biggest rival international in the world. That's because of the competitiveness of both of them as well. I mean, you've got rivals like England, Scotland, or you might have Netherlands, Germany, or there's other ones that you could bring in. But the success of Brazil, Argentina as well adds to it. Even like when you had Pele, Maradona, you've got so many factors to bring in, as well as the rivalry between the two countries and the geographic.
I mean, look, I think you guys would agree that it is the oldest major tournament
Yeah.
in the world. Was it 1913 or something like that around then?
1916.
Oh, close. I was close. I was close. Yeah, so that exactly. So it is, the rivalry is there, and I'm pretty sure with Olympics as well, isn't it? With the Olympics, you always see a rivalry, like, don't you?
And also, I think that because in Europe, we got a lot of rivals. I mean, French and England, France and England, France and Germany probably. But I mean, a lot of great teams, but a lot of teams too. In South America, we have like Brazil, Argentina, and Uruguay sometimes, and Chile sometimes have good teams, but it's always Brazil and Argentina. Even Uruguay, that's good too. I don't know. I think probably because their best teams were so in the past that they stay kind of forgotten by some. But Brazil and Argentina are always like top teams. They are always competing to win the World Cup. So there, it's probably just true. We don't have a lot of rivalries in our continent. So it always goes to this one.
Well, when England play Brazil, we're just always in awe. You know, when England play Brazil, it's always a fan thing, isn't it? Oh, we're playing Brazil, like they're going to play really good against us. I've never seen us like that against another team. We are just like, woo, like this is going to be fun, like because they're going to play better than us. It's weird, but that's how great Brazil, how respected they are as a national team.
Brazil are the most famous footballing country, national team. Anyway, just throughout all the years going back. When they first won the World Cup in '58, didn't they? And just it's always been play like Brazil, play like Brazil, and a little bit club football. How Barcelona became under Guardiola, and there's some part Barcelona, but international wise, it's always other clubs have been successful, other countries have been successful, Germany have been successful, Italy have been successful, but you never hear, let's play like Italy, let's play like Germany, because Brazil have always been, like you say, that pinnacle of international football, and that's what everyone's always looked up to. They've won the World Cup the most times, and it has always been who people look up to.
Agreed. Let me just read out some comments, and then we'll talk about the Argentina and Colombia game. That's from me. Whoops. There was someone actually who wrote in here, but the comment was before the stream. Stephen, big up to you, mate. Thank you so much. Everybody that is watching, please do subscribe, share, like. It does mean so much. Thank you as well for doing that. Anthony says, big up, Matt. This will be a good game with end-to-end stuff. I agree. It'll be quite close. Jordan, what's up, bro? Matt, what time is the final on in our time, mate? 1 a.m. Saturday night, Sunday morning. There you go. That really does signify when that is, doesn't it? Instead of saying Sunday 1 p.m., 1 a.m., people go, all right, does that mean like sometimes I've seen things where it says that and it actually is that, and I'm like, bloody thank you for pointing that out to me, Stu, because I would have missed it. I do agree. Teofilo says, I think Brazil's games are being poor more than other years at least. The problem with Argentina is that as soon as they score, they stop playing well. Would you agree with that, Luis?
Well, I mean, Brazil game is poor, but if you compare to like 4 years ago, I mean, I think it's better. Because when we had Dunga as our manager, whoa, it was a tragedy. Like, we got knocked out in group stage in Copa America in 2016. So, I mean, if you compare to before Dunga, we had better teams, we played better, and it was a football that we enjoyed to watch more. Compared to that, we're playing poorer than in these past years. But not before Tite. Tite really made a strong team who can win a lot of games, and he got, I think 70% of his games he got the clean sheet. So it's a great stat. Not the best game to watch, but we win. So it's poor, but it's okay if we keep winning.
Yeah, you're not losing 7-1, are you, or anything like that? You know, that was when it really hit the rock bottom, didn't it, that semi. You'll never forget
7-1
that.
was exactly 7 years ago.
There
It's
you
the
go.
birthday.
Let's hope you can win. Let's hope you can win the Copa America and make up for that. Then, Norma says, "Thank you, Norma, for tuning in, and everybody else. Thank you so much for tuning in today." Norma says, "I see the game to be tight, but with Brazil attack, not that string. I could see Argentina win with their attack." Would you? Yeah, what would you say about that, Stewie?
I think it's important the way that Brazil have been playing that they score the first goal, because Brazil haven't had to come from behind, and because they've been grinding games out, it would be interesting to see how they would react to being 1-0 down, having to chase the game. And part of me thinks, could that actually bring the best out of them and make them play a different style, which maybe it would be more suited to the attacking players, but that's a gamble. I don't. It's hard from how the tournament's gone so far to see how Brazil would react to going a goal down. And like something we touched on last week, that Argentina had managed to grind a couple of games out in the group stage 1-0, and they conceded to Colombia. But I do think it would be a better game for the neutral if Argentina score the first goal, because it brings Brazil out more. Whereas Brazil, as they did against Peru and Chile, may just try and shut up shop, even though that will be more difficult against Argentina.
So similar to what happened in the game yesterday with England and Denmark, the fact that Denmark went up and then England had to step up their game, and it made the game more interesting. I like that theory.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good way to look at it. And also, you have got the added fact of with Copa America, how it goes straight to penalties instead of extra time. I think that makes a difference as well, because, I mean, at the end of the game, towards the end of the 90 minutes in the England-Denmark game, England knew that they had another half an hour to unlock the defence. We didn't have to go gun-ho in the last 5-10 minutes. But obviously when it goes to penalties, it is a lot. And I know there's skill in penalties, and I know that... but Brazil and Argentina have both got 10, 11, 12, 15, 20 players that could take a good penalty, and it's what happens on the day. So you're leaving it to chance that it goes to penalties. So if you do find a 0-0 all with 10 minutes to go, it'll be interesting to see how the teams react, if they settle for penalties or if they really go for it.
Well, that's a good segue, actually. We'll go into the Argentina and Colombia game. Just going to read these out quickly. Hi, Matt and Co. Just dropping to say hi and all the best to Thiago Silva. Great stuff. That's from RC Bayern Chelsea Fan TV. Big up to you. And Anthony says 1 a.m. Cheers. Sweet cheeks. Sweet cheeks. All right, mate. So Argentina 4, Colombia 3, and that went into penalties, right? And it was a bit tough, like both teams missing penalties here and there. What did you make of the game, Louise?
Yeah, I didn't watch it full. I watched just the last minutes in the penalty, so I'm not in my best position to commentate this one. But my father told me that, Argentina scored, so Colombia tried to equalize the game, what is obvious, but they did really good. So I think they hit the post twice, and they equalized it too. Yeah. So it wasn't like a cool game for Argentina. No, Colombia gave them a tough fight, and it could have gone both ways. Even before the penalties, it was possible that any of them could win the game.
Yeah, well, what about you, Stewie? What do you think, mate?
Yeah, I thought kind of the same theory, in that I think it was better for the game with Argentina scoring first on this one, because it brought Colombia out. The Colombia game against Uruguay I didn't think was the best game. But I watched that one, and that finished 0-0 to penalties, and it was a bit meh. It was okay. So Colombia, they came out. Colombia's equaliser was such a good goal. The finish was brilliant, great finish. There was definitely, as you expect in a Colombia game, there was some backwards and forwards with the verbals, some needle, and in the penalties, and you've probably seen the video on Twitter, I've never seen Messi that fired up ever.
Yeah.
All time I've been watching him play. I thought that, and did you see what he said to Mina after Mina missed?
Yes.
By Laura.
Because they were dancing after that. I think one of their players.
His corner,
in the Uruguay game.
The center back, he danced after
scoring. And then he did his little dance. So
they are like that, aren't they, Colombia?
Yeah. So then when he missed the penalty in the next game, you could just see Messi, baila ahora, dance now, then.
Yeah. You saw the Argentinian goalkeeper. He entered in the mind of every Colombian player there. I mean, he looked everyone there and said, "I'm gonna catch your penalty, man. Yeah. You're damn here. You won't score." And then he just catch the penalty, man. I mean, whoa.
Even up to
I'm afraid. I don't want to go to penalties against him, man. That's not good.
No, he's Well, at least. But you just have to hope he can't speak Portuguese.
Probably can.
The only players will understand them.
All these players speak loads of languages these days.
They've all played for clubs in that many countries that we need to. But I wouldn't be confident with penalties. You can never be that confident with penalties, really, can you?
Yeah, it's not good for anyone.
50-50. Absolutely 50-50. It depends on. You've seen it. Look at what happened with France. You know, you would have expected them to win.
Yeah.
But Colombia, unfortunate, right, guys? I mean, they did put up a good fight. I mean, it was a bit frisky, wasn't it? But you've got to be like that, haven't you? Like, I think, like you said, their goal was he just was getting budged out the way, wasn't he? And he just managed to clip it.
That little dink, it was a great goal. And I think the one thing that the thing that Copa America has definitely missed is the fans. And you notice it more from watching the Euros at the same time, because you're watching the Euros where the fans are coming back and each round's kind of had more fans, and you can see how the atmosphere is bringing people on, driving people on. And then you watch the Copa America straight afterwards, and it's so noticeable how
it's
got that there. And it's a shame, and I understand the reasons. I understand the situation in South America is very different to what the situation is here at the minute, so it's understandable. It's just a shame that it's not a game like that the Paraguay-Peru game, 3-0, like that kind of excitement with a full crowd. And when you've got the Argentina-Colombia game, when you've got the verbals between the two teams, and you've got the players giving each other some. If you get the fans involved as well, it'd have been brilliant to watch. But I think that's the shame that that's not happened. But it makes it more neutral for Argentina at the weekend, because they've not got the Brazilian crowd to deal with. Although I'm sure that lots of Argentinians would have made the trip anyway.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, maybe we should talk about the final and what you guys think will happen. What do you make? First start off with Argentina, Louise. I mean, Messi's like sort of carrying them now. It seems like to me, and it looks like they're going to have to sort of start a rebuild. Do you think they're hoping that this is going to be their chance to lift it? Last time that Messi probably might play in a Copa America, probably, because he's still very fit and healthy to play for another few years, but.
Well, I mean, just before I talk about that, I want to say that Colombia should be proud about what they did, because it's a semifinal against Argentina and they took it to penalty. So it's a good campaign for them. And now about the final. Well, I think Messi will probably retire from Argentina after the World Cup. So probably his last Copa America. And it's been like 30 years since Argentina won a trophy. And he's desperate to win this one. And it's no surprise that he's carrying Argentina. He got, I think, some 4 goals and 5 assists. So he will do everything he can. And Martinez is doing good too. I mean, probably Messi can influence his partners on the pitch because he's so determined to win it that they might feel like him and try to push more. And well, this might work for them. I think the best possibility for Argentina is to score first, so that Brazil will be. I mean, they are not used to playing one goal behind, so Brazil try to do their best, but they might feel in a strange position. I think that's the best possibility for Argentina is to score as soon as possible. And well, I think it will end in 1-1 and it will go to penalties where Brazil will win. But on penalties, everything can happen.
You think it's going to go to penalties, Louise? Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here. What about you, Stu? Are you on with us, or are you going for a straight up win for one or the other? I mean, tell us.
Yeah, I'm very torn on the prediction. I think that I know it is in every game, but I do think that first goal is massive. I think that it would be like I said earlier, it would be interesting to see how Brazil react to going a goal behind. I think Messi is the factor that makes it a difficult game to call, because I think Brazil's starting 11 across the board is stronger. I think that the defense is stronger. I think the midfield's stronger. But when you've got Messi, and you've got Messi who is really in form, he's had a great tournament, and you've got Neymar, who Brazil's star player, who isn't, and he's done okay at times, but he's not done anywhere near what Messi's done this tournament. So you have got a player who can, if the players around him, if the rest of if the other 10 Argentinian players put in 5, 6 out of 10 performances, Messi can win the game by himself. As long as they keep the game steady, they don't have a disaster in defense. As long as they have a steady game, Messi can do the rest, and that's what he's proved this time. Even the assist against Colombia, just to see it that quickly and just make the pass the perfect way. This is the tournament that he's lighting up, and can you see Messi retiring without an international tournament? Obviously, I mean, if he got old enough, he would have to, but I think you do think that is due one. So I would like Brazil to win, but I could see Argentina winning via Messi as long as the rest of the team kind of contributes their part. So I think normal time, heart Brazil, head thinks Argentina. I think 2-1 Argentina, but I would like it to be 2-0 Brazil.
I'm going to say 1-1 in 90 minutes and possibly 2-1 in extra time to Brazil, but
there's no extra time, is there?
Oh, there isn't, is there? Silly me then. Right, okay. Just straight up penalties then. Brazil to win on penalties.
Scoring against Martinez.
Aston Villa will be happy anyway, though, wouldn't they? Like you say, he's been doing very well, hasn't he, Martinez?
I was quite vocal last summer. I've said to quite a lot of people last summer that I thought that Arsenal should have kept Martinez as their number one. I liked him more than Leno. I think the way that he finished the season before, when they won the FA Cup, I liked Leno. I liked Martinez, but I think he had a very good season at Aston Villa. So I think Aston Villa, really good bit of business there getting him.
Yeah. Solo afternoon, mate. Thank you so much. The Man United agenda, go check them out. I think 8 o'clock, like every day, talking all Man United. It's a really funny show as well. Really cool. Can we please give Fred a shout out, please? Fred, he's doing well, right? Louise?
Yeah, he's doing great. Yeah, I mean, people in Brazil don't like him too much because he played for Shakhtar Donetsk. So some people here don't like players who have been at Shakhtar because they think, oh, if you went to Shakhtar, I mean, Ukrainian league, and they have this thing. But I don't think that's fair. Fred is doing nice, and he had a good season at Man United too. So I think he's that kind of player that he doesn't. appear too much on the pitch. You don't see him like doing great things, but he's this kind of silent player. What he does is something that you can't look just at stats and think, oh wait, he doesn't score goal or doesn't assist. No, I mean he's the one that unites the midfield to the attacking players, and I mean with Casemiro by his side, that's great. I mean they're both very great players, so we have to. Sometimes people stay too much on with the stats, like, oh, how many goals and assists did you got? But it's not like that. Football is not just goals and assists. There's much more than that.
Yeah, I think he's the same. Like Casemiro and Fred, it's a solid two to protect the back four, and then you've got the front four now. But that kind of highlights the transition in Brazil and how Brazil have played this tournament compared to when you think of a Brazil team in your head, you think of a more attacking team. You don't think of two holding midfielders. And I think that's why they're winning games 1-0 and they are grinding the results out, because it has got that protection for the back four, and Casemiro and Fred, both great players. But it does kind of highlight the transition in Brazil of old to Brazil now.
Who's been your favourite player of the competition so far, would you say? Is it out of the two teams in the final, or is it someone else? Anyone?
Trying to think.
Well, I mean, Messi is the best in this competition, but I really like how Casemiro is playing. I think he is very consistent. He gives protection to defensive line, so it's even harder to get there because there's Casemiro, and the transition from the defense to the attack, he does it very nice too. The goal against Chile, he was the one that he crossed the ball, so Neymar got it and passed to Paquetá to score. And I mean, people forgot that Casemiro got that nice pass to start the play and get to the goal. He's my favorite player from Brazil in this competition, and I think if it wasn't for Messi, he could be the best in this competition.
Stu?
Yeah, I think Messi's player of the tournament by a long way. I liked Peru's goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's good.
I did like Peru's goalkeeper.
Good. Does he play for anybody? Look, who does he play for?
I knew this the other day.
I don't know. I know his name is Gaiese. He's been at Peru a long time. I mean, I remember him the 2015 Copa America. He was there. He's always there. I mean, it seems that Peru has just one goalkeeper in the whole world.
Yeah,
it's always him.
Yeah, and also I like I just like him. So I like Cardona, plays for Colombia. Mainly because he plays for Boca Juniors, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I watch when I watch Argentinian football, I do like watching Boca. Well, kind of hence the shirt. So that's more just it's a player that I like. I'm not saying he's player of the tournament, but he scored the winner for Colombia in one of the games. He got the assist the other night. So I like Cardona.
I Googled it here. The Peruvian goalkeeper plays for Orlando City.
Yeah, I think he mentioned it in the commentary the other night, actually. But yeah, he's been a goalkeeper for years and years.
And I think Lapadula is doing great too, although he's now out. He'll play Colombia because there's the third place game.
Yeah.
But he did good. It was a surprise for me.
Are they usually intense, those third place games? Like, they're not really taken so seriously, are they?
I mean, I think that it's sad because both teams are there like, hey, man, I'm knocked out and you still make me play one more game. I mean, let me go home.
I don't like it. I don't like third place playoffs. I don't see the point in them. I don't. The only time I agree with a third place playoff is at the Olympics, a bronze medal match, because obviously people value the Olympic medals. That's to me, the Olympics is the only time that third place matters.
Yep, I agree. So guys, are you watching the Euros as well? I'm pretty sure you are, Stu, as well.
Yes.
Yeah, watching the Euros.
Well, what I have to say about that is it's not a great idea to put both the Euros and the in Copa America in the same year, man. It doesn't work. I mean,
Louise,
it's
right?
too many games in a row, and I mean, I could spend the whole day watching games, but by the end of it, I'll be like, man, let me calm down. I mean,
No, I like it. I like it. I think that with having, especially from like the club's point of view, so if you've got a summer where kind of all your international players are away at tournaments, and then the next year all your players are not at tournaments, then you can plan your pre-season schedule better. So I think for the clubs it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that so like this year, everyone's pre-season schedule is going to be mixed. You're going to have players coming back at different times, at different stages. Probably some won't be ready for the season starting.
Yeah, but they got players going to the Olympics. Even players that have played in the Euros have been picked to go and play in the Olympics, and it's just weird. Like, what club would go? Yeah, go play another tournament in Japan. Like,
yeah,
and then
Richarlison was called for Brazil. He's going to the Olympics too. I mean,
that's another. That's another conversation completely. But I think that just in general, I think the Euros and Copa being in the same year, to me, it makes sense. I think it makes sense, and I think I like it. I'm in favor, and also plenty of games to watch. So
yeah. Well, I didn't talk about your perspective, but I still don't like that many games in a row. I mean, because we will have like a year that there's no international competition,
I get it.
I'll miss that. I mean, yeah, every year we got something.
Yeah, it's been great.
There's pros and cons.
Have it on a gap year, I think. But so because I mean, I want to watch it all, but you can't. I mean, especially this weekend, I want to do a watch along, but because England are in the final, I might be a bit bladdered, and I'm going to be out. Like so,
the Copa America Finals before the England game.
Oh yeah, crap-a-doodle-doo. I'm still going to be out though. I'm still going to be bladdered, but I'm not watching any football. No, I am. I'm watching. It is Saturday, so actually that's really good. I can change the date on that now. My goodness gracious!
I'm going to remind you. I'm going to message you over the weekend just to make sure. By the way, the game's kicking off in an hour, not 24, not 25 hours.
1 a.m. on Saturday/Sunday morning. Everybody, that is Copa America, not Monday morning. Don't do the mistake I was going to do. Just quickly read out a few more comments, and then we'll end it off. We'll repeat what we think the score is going to be in the final between Brazil and Argentina in Copa America. Everybody, go check that out this Saturday, Sunday. Where was we? Anthony says, think it'd be 1-1 with pens too.
Yeah.
I'm on that one.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen, but I don't want this to happen.
No, you don't want it to, but you're just thinking like it looks like it's going to be a tight game. Definitely. Matt Little Charlie's on the Man United agenda tonight doing a quiz. Tune in, mate. Hopefully I will, mate. I got to do some dinner and get washed and all that. Finished work late, but hopefully I'll get on. It's coming home. It is coming home, but I know the Italians will probably think it's coming to Rome. They definitely want to bring it back to Italy. So
it's coming Rome. I mean, Rafael Toloi, who's played for Italy. He started at Goiás. It's my club, and he became Italian. So I'll support Italy for him.
He did, yeah. That's what they were saying, yeah. And he came on as a substitute, maybe.
Yeah,
in the semis.
I think he entered in Emerson's place.
Did he just think he was going to get into the Brazilian team, or?
I mean, I think he got too old to start for Brazil, so people didn't think about him as a possibility. He started to play good games at Atalanta, so we weren't paying much attention on him. So he thought it would be better to play for Italy, and I think it works for him. It's great, and we have like Marquinhos, Thiago Silva. He wouldn't have much space on Brazil.
That's like we have a British-born player playing for Chile, don't we? We were talking about
yes, Brereton.
Damn you! Come back, because we need good players. we need good players? We need more good players. Yeah, why not? Just fill them up.
Oh, it's never a problem to have more players.
I think for England and Brazil, it'll be an interesting World Cup, I think, in Qatar. Because I see Brazil getting stronger and stronger. I don't see Argentina getting stronger. I see Spain looking like they could get stronger in the next year or so.
If Spain can find a clinical striker, I know they have strikers in the squad. They've got Moreno and they've got Morata.
Respect Morata. No, just kidding.
Olmo was good. Olmo played there. I know.
Olmo, yeah,
he wasn't too bad. He doesn't usually play there.
The way that Spain played against Italy, they could have had the chances to create. They could have had, if you put like a Harry Kane or a Benzema or a Haaland or a Lewandowski in that Spain team, they would have scored 6-7 goals at this tournament comfortably. Because the chances that they were creating, and it did work for Spain against Italy, because I think Chiellini and Bonucci like playing against a focal point centre forward. So with Spain playing kind of a false nine, it did work for them because it was bringing the defenders out and creating space, and the defenders didn't like it as much, which is what England should look at. I'm not saying drop Kane, but kind of look at how Spain caused them problems, and then but then you've got Kane there to take the chances that they were missing. I mean, that header that was it? Oh yeah, the ball missed that he didn't get his head onto. You've got. So I think in the next year or so, if Spain can get a striker firing, whether it's one of the current ones, whether it's a young boy coming through, I think we'll be very dangerous at the next World Cup.
Louise, any last bits before we finish up on the World Cup?
On the World Cup, I mean,
how Brazil could be.
How Brazil could be. I think it's great to have a strong defense. It will be very important in knockout games. And I mean, I expect them to go at least to semifinals probably, but everything can happen. There could be another Belgium on our path. So let's see. But I have good feelings about the World Cup.
Just also, you have to expect that the heat, I know it's winter there, but you've got to expect that the heat will play a part in that World Cup. I think that countries like the South American countries, for example, who they're used to playing in difficult conditions, whether it be altitude or heat, or I think that will play a part. So they'll be better adjusted to those conditions out there. I think some of the European countries may struggle with that. I think that it's a complete guess. It's a year and a half away, but I think that however much you think that you're prepared to play in those conditions,
I think it will affect.
You're not. So I think that your countries where, like I said to like when Spain played Slovakia, I was speaking to my friends before the game and said this game's been played in Seville with a 6 o'clock kickoff in June. It'll be 30 plus degrees, and you've got. And I said Slovakia will be done because Spain keep the ball that well. Slovakia will be running around and they'll be wiped out. And that's how it panned out with Spain winning 5-0. So if a team can move the ball and be used to the conditions, I do think that will definitely play a part in that World Cup. So I would expect the winners of that World Cup to be potentially South American, maybe a Spain where it's possession-based football and not. They're making the ball do the work, whereas if you look at Italy do a lot of pressing, and is a team like Italy going to be able to keep that up for 90 minutes in Qatar? Probably not. So I think that'll make that will definitely tell as part of the World Cup.
Right, guys, then let's wrap it up there. Shout out your social medias where people can find you, but also let us know the prediction of what you think the final score is going to be in the Copa America, Brazil versus Argentina. Start with you first, Stu.
So I'd like Brazil to win. I do think that Messi is due winning a tournament, and I think that my prediction in 90 minutes is 2-1 Argentina, but heart says 2-0 Brazil.
And where can we find you as well, Stu?
What else? I can never remember what my usernames are, mate. It's like Stewie_M94, I think, on Twitter. It's along those lines.
Brilliant. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on again, mate.
No worries, pal. Enjoyed it.
Enjoy the final as well. Both finals. Louis, where
Yeah.
can we find you, mate?
You can find me on Instagram. It's here, BR So check out. I talk about the Brazilian league, Brazilian football, and give me a chance. I mean, you might like it. And I think the Copa America final will end 1-1, and Brazil will win it on penalties. So let's go, Brazil.
Come on, Brazil. I'm saying the same too, guys. I'm saying penalty shootout, Brazil all the way. Probably want to see Messi cry a little bit because I'm a Ronaldo fan. I'm a
Ronaldo fan too.
I don't have kind of much of a preference between the two. I think both are great players.
No, I do.
I admire Messi a lot too. I just prefer Ronaldo.
Yeah, it's a Man United connection. That's all it is. If Messi come and play for Man United, it would be difficult for me.
If Messi wants to play for Goiás, I heard that he's not playing for any club. So come on, Messi. I mean, there's space for you here on the bench.
I admire Ronaldo a lot for what he's done around kind of the Premier League, Serie A, in La Liga. I do think that his, rather than coming through, was staying with Barcelona. And it's great to go through one club, but it's been good to see Ronaldo kind of do it in different leagues. And obviously, Portugal winning the Euros has got that for a CV, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Guys, everybody that's tuned in today, thank you so much for tuning in, commenting. It's nice to have people coming in and trying to get involved. We're Football United TV. This is pretty much the last Copa America show. So thank you so much for tuning in for the last 3 or 4 weeks. We've got Euro 2020 final preview, England versus Italy tomorrow midday, Friday midday special one there for you because I'm off work. I'm getting ready for the final. But everybody, enjoy the weekend's football and enjoy your weekend as a whole. Take care, everybody, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.